It feels like if you're living in the West, especially if you're online on the internet a lot, browsing on YouTube, it quite literally seems like it's either one end of the extreme versus the other, meaning it's either like one chick got like 500, a body count of like 5,000, right? And then like the dude has a body count of like -1, if that like, of like -1, if that's even possible, right? Just for instance, right? It just seems like today you're either hoeing it all the way up or you're not getting any. Like you're not even getting like a stare. You're not even like getting within the presence of human flesh. So how do we discern between these two worldviews in order to figure out the truth? Because you're going to inevitably paint a worldview, especially when you're watching this stuff on the internet, in which you might be thinking that all girls are just the same. And you might be thinking that, you know, you have not had a lot of experience dating or going out with girls. So to watch all these women online talk about their abundance of Chads and Tyrones that they're sleeping with, to watch this rage bait, it is going to keep you further from the truth, which is not all women are the same, I promise. And it's also going to keep you angry. And anger is a really tough emotion to contend with. And I think that that's what we have to remember is anger. A lot of the topics surrounding body count, and I might make a part 2 on this video because I don't think we'll have enough time to talk about it today, but a lot of this is just you kind of have to choose what battles you want to fight in this world, and you kind of have to choose, why is it that I have such a hard time falling in love or with the idea of love? Why is it that I have such a hard time with this concept, knowing that a woman that I'm with could have a past? These are all hypothetical debates and conversations that are very popular. I hear people talking about the body count topic a lot online. These are hot button issues, if you will. So that's the thing though, is that these are all hypothetical scenarios when we're talking about something such as body count. The past is sort of like unattainable, meaning that there's no way to know for sure if the person you're with is like even gonna be honest about their body count if you ask them. And just because some women don't set up good boundaries for Chad and Tyrone does not mean all women are like this. This is not true. Not all women are like this, and you will easily self-fulfilling. You will create a self-fulfilling prophecy by just hearing women that do OnlyFans or women that are in the sex work industry, just by hearing their opinions on podcasts and hearing their worldview, which could be very much different from yours. If you live a low-key life, if you live a simple life, there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have a high body count, there's nothing wrong with that. See, right now at the table, right, we have two worldviews at the table, the debate table, let's just imagine. One worldview is of a man, and he thinks that women shouldn't have a high body count, and then the other worldview is of a woman, and she thinks that everyone should have a high body count, and like very just does not care about it at all. And so we cannot shame nor judge either of these two very separate worldviews, because in order to figure out the truth of these extreme ways of thinking, we have to look back at the situation at hand without shame or judgment, but actually with acceptance. There is something very interesting about the fear of change, to be honest. Change's card coming through. There's something very interesting about the fear of change and the fear of knowing that your partner, fear card again, knowing that your partner has been with other people. It's the fear of you being left alone. If I'm with somebody that has a high body count, she's gonna cut me out of her life. She's gonna leave me. What would be the point of keeping me if she already has all this experience? You have to first slow down your thought process. Because this is such a hot button issue, and this issue is really meant to prey on people's actual pain that has nothing to do with body count, right? If you are concerned about a high body count, really, you're concerned about trust, which means that in the past, a woman or a man has broken your trust, and this has led you to hurt, right? This has led you to think more about the issue of body count than even being presented in a scenario where it needs to be talked about. Or maybe for some of you, you have been presented in this scenario before where you had to ask or it had to be talked about, and your opinion and your point of view wasn't heard or valued. And in that moment, you know, like that's tough. That's not easy to contend with. It's not easy just to hear about the abundance that all these, you know, OnlyFans ladies are having online with all these men. It's hard to hear about that. But there's also a need to understand that anger is coming from a really real place. It truthfully is. And how do you releasing card coming through? How do you release this anger, this confusion, this fear? How do you release this fear to find love and to find truth? Because at the end of the day, not all women boundaries card, not all women lack boundaries, right? Not all women lack boundaries, but all people make mistakes, right? All people want love so bad that they're willing to be with somebody that maybe they shouldn't be with, in all honesty, right? Like maybe they shouldn't have been with them, and they stayed with them even though they weren't being treated right, because they have no ability to regulate themselves on their own. This is how codependency comes in. So anyways, this is a hot button issue, but I ask you to open your mind as we approach these topics further on my channel, and open your mind to patience when it comes to understanding somebody's past. And don't, close yourself off because of the fear of your past, the fear of their past, the fear of you being left. There's a need to be patient with yourself. Let's get one more card. There's a need to be patient with yourself, and there's a need to understand the knowledge that you're seeking, asking about a woman's past. Understand, like, what is that question really coming from? Other than just like the obvious, like wanting to know where somebody's been in their past. What is the question really coming from? And how is this question creating anger in ways that you can't grow? There's a lot of drama online, especially when it comes to this issue of body count. So we need to approach this subject in a way that's different than most other people approach this subject online. I'm here to get you guys a girlfriend. I'm here to get you guys physical love and affection from a woman, because if you are alive, boys, that means it's possible, period. If you're alive right now in this moment, that means it's possible, but it's going to require patience, freaking period. Okay. And change, patience and change, which you'll have from awakenings. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.